from me, so I've no idea. I don't know where anyone is.
Because like everyone was out and about enjoying their day with the like, well, you're enjoying Legos, I guess. That does look fun. I kind of want to. I have like few sets.
You know
I
what?
still need to do.
But the thing we went to today was, I thought it had like such a good idea. So the thought was that you go to Smith's and there's like a pit of Lego, and you fill a bag up with Lego, and you get to like take it home, basically. Like they call it make it and take it. So I thought the idea was that you go there, make something, fill the bag up with the bits that you need to make that thing that you made, and then that's your thing to take home. But what it actually was they give you like a set of instructions, and you have to rummage through and find all of the bits to build this specific kit, and then you get to take that home. But obviously, when you're competing with like a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds and their parents, it's fucking difficult.
That sounds.
Especially because the 5 year old that I took was stood there the whole time going, "Are we done yet?" And I'm like, "For fuck's sake, my back hurts and there's people chucking Legos at me."
That sounds like a. It's well, actually no. I was gonna say that sounds like a terrible idea. But if they had something like that for IKEA, I wouldn't be that down. I would be still be that down for it. I'd be like, I need to get a coffee table. Can I just rummage through all of their shit just so I can put a fucking coffee table? I'll be
It's
like,
so badly thought
I
out,
might,
man, honestly.
yeah. I mean, like, would I fight someone for a coffee table? I might do. I don't know. It just seems like,
I
hey,
mean,
no,
like,
I need this.
like to be completely fair, like it was a nice morning out. Like we were sat in a coffee shop after like putting it together, and she was so sweet because she was like, "Oh, so do we have to go back to Smith's to give this back now?" And it was like, "No, like that's yours forever now." And she was like, "Oh, that's
Oh,
great."
oh, that's adorable. Wait, how much did that little bag cost then?
It's free. You just go in and like yes, like that's. I think the idea is that because it's free, they're hoping that you'll go in and like spend money on other stuff, which obviously everyone does with a kid. So it's
So would I go to IKEA for a free coffee table if I had to fight someone? So definitely then.
yeah,
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 okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so
Yeah, yeah.
annoying because there was this bloke opposite me, and like obviously like some of the Legos like tiny, and I was rummaging through everything to find these tiny, tiny bits, and he was just like chucking waves of it like over at everyone else, and I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Like this is." And then there was this one woman who was filling up like 6 different bags, and the manager came round and he was like, "This is a gentle reminder that it's 1 bag per child, and the child has to be here."
Jesus.
I can only imagine that there comes.
Some people are unfucking believable.
Well, from what Pat has said, people who have sniffs, the biggest problem aren't the kids. It's definitely the adults. So I can definitely
Yeah.
believe that as the story.
Dude, parents are fucking savages.
I
And
feel
that's the
like
thing, like, and there was this one guy as well. He was just like really pissed off about being there, and I was thinking, like, you've made the decision. Like, your 5 year old didn't hear about this independently.
well, unless of course it was part of the school grounds. It's like, hey, do you know you got Smith stuff giving free Legos? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You'd be surprised what you can, or as a kid, you can hear on the school grounds.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still it's a fun morning. Like it's if you could have done it where like only the kids were allowed to go and find the Lego, that probably would have been a lot more civil. But the parents were a nightmare.
So bad.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I know it would just take one kid pushing a bit too much Lego to another kid's head or face, and afterwards the parents it'll be a free for all. Yeah, absolutely. No, because if you say there was an adult who pushed the Legos over like kids, if a kid just picks up a Lego, throws it at another kid, all hell breaks loose. Yeah, I can imagine. No, it's not gonna work.
I must admit, like one thing that I noticed in Smiths today as well, because like obviously you're in Smiths, like, so you can't just go like yeah, we'll go to the free bit and then go home kind of thing. So like we were walking around the aisles and like looking at all this different stuff. And I think it is quite bad because a lot of toys now are basically like mystery boxes. And so like there's one that's a bath bomb and you put the bath bomb in your bath and then once it's dissolved you get like a mystery collectible toy and like things like that. And it's like you are priming kids to be gamblers.
No, because I remember. Wait, is that actually aimed at kids? I remember.
Yeah,
They did
it's like a 5-year-old's toy. It's mad.
Did they not did? I remember that this was a marketing ploy by Pokemon for making nerds to shower. Essentially, they have like a bar of soap or a bath bomb. You finish using the soap or bath bomb, and afterwards you get a Pokemon. And it's like, all right, yeah, the only way to use this is to have a fucking shower. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, because it's something like Pokemon. That's kind of cool because it's like most people who love it are like teenagers probably. But
yeah, and they don't keep hygiene because in nerd news, I remember I heard about there being a Yu-Gi-Oh competition, and one of the ladies who were in the competition had to leave because it smelt so fucking bad. And I laughed at that. I was thinking, no, how bad could it have been? I was like, I've never, but then I realized I've actually passed at conventions. I've passed by those tables. It's not the best smell I smell, but I was like, all right, yeah, but yeah. So it's like, kids, teenagers. I mean, I'd rather you smell like lynx than you smelling like sweat. To be honest, like it's like it's not the best, but like it's
All right, I
it's,
get it. Fucking
It could
hell.
be worse. Yeah.
It could be worse. But so essentially, but you say there were blind? Essentially, they're called gachas or blind boxes, right?
yeah, there's shops full of them. Like she got one, like it was like this little thing. So do you remember those TY plush things?
Oh yeah.
So they do their own little thing now, and it's basically like it's just a little box, and you don't know what's gonna be in it. And she got one of those, and when we went out the shop and she opened it, and she was like, "Oh wow, this is the one I was hoping it was," and I was thinking it probably isn't. Like you're probably just a really nice kid, but like it's bad that like that's the I don't know. That's the only way of getting things that kids want is hoping for the best.
How much was it?
It was only like £3, but still.
No, that's too expensive. Okay, because like when people did gadget stuff, when it was a bit more normal, it was like £1 a box, and they were very basic. But the whole point is, you buy enough, you can trade them with your school friends, and it'll be like, yeah. You know what they call like knuckle bones or whatever the fuck toy it was. It's a very cheap knuckle dusters. Yeah, the kids were trading knuckle dusters in school.
I was saying that though, because what Smith should do, because like so much of what they sell is essentially mystery boxes, they should have like swap days where like everyone just comes to the store and like finds something that they want to swap theirs for and like all that kind of stuff, because they would make so much money from like kids being in the shop anyway, and it's just a nice thing to do.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that is a good idea.
you're being very nice to a corporate company.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I say. It's like you almost hit me with the back in the day when McDonald's had like Nintendo 64 in them. I remember those days. I was like, yeah, but like you can't have that nowadays because people are terrible people and they'll just like steal the Nintendo 64s. It's like just like yeah.
But yeah, I think that's my takeaway from today is that something happens when you become a parent that makes you just really unreasonable, especially around bits of Lego.
Around what Lego?
No, basically there was a thing at Smith's today where like they call it make it and take it. And so like it's basically a pit of Lego and they give you the instructions to build whatever, and then you have to rummage through all these pieces and like make up a bag of the bits that you need to make this thing, and then you can take it home. But the problem is that like obviously it's aimed at like 6, 7 year olds to go and do it on their own, but everyone's parents were with them today. So like I took Rachel's niece, and like she's like the best kid, man. She's just like so patient, and she was really good about it all. But then you had all of these like parents who were like making tidal waves of Lego and just chucking them all over the place and filling up multiple bags, and it's just like, you people are awful. Like, just let the kids have fun, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Sad.
I mean,
Not what you want to show to your kids, even. Man.
what that means is now I can just have an excuse to get my nephews to get some Legos. Then, all right. Is there an age limit on that? I don't know.
Apparently the age limit is like 6, but I don't think they ask for ID on the door.
Is it? I'm sick. 36.
No, he's too old. No, he looks too old for being a 6-year-old. I can definitely get my my nephew to do it though properly. All right, yeah. All right. So, hey, it seems like Ben is at lunch, well, at dinner still. He's probably ordered the souffle. That's the reason.
Can you believe it that Ben Hyundorf is going to be late to the call? He's going to be late. Him, Ben, that guy, late.
In any
I can't
case,
Can't believe it.
how wait, okay. Because Ben ordered the souffle, he's gonna be late. Is Pat gonna be souffleing, or is he like?
I wouldn't want to call it souffleing, but
that would be the most like Ben move, to be fair. Like I've got 20 minutes till the call starts, and I need to order a dessert that takes an hour to make.
If it's that delicious, I probably would have thought, but it's so delicious. Screw it. All right, I guess we should start with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, are you?
I am here.
Okay.
Emmanuel, why did you
quote from the director?
Why did you pick? Fuck it.
Sorry, go ahead. It keeps.
Why did you pick this film with all these people who aren't very nice?
But before I start, the quote from the director says, explains that the film is about addiction to anything, not just illegal drugs. It could be addiction to coffee, TV, or even hope.
That was quite. I mean, maybe now as an adult that was quite obvious, but like when I was a kid, it was all about pills, and that was just like something else entirely. But like, yeah. So why did you pick this film? Is the question.
So there's no deep reason or anything. When I think when Pat and Alec on different occasions or whatnot said, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen that film," and a few of us were just like, "Oh, okay, we got to pick it one day. We got to pick it one day," and I had forgotten about it, to be honest. And then recently, I think I said this at the end of the call, I was struggling to figure out what to pick. And then in the end, I ended up with like my next 5 or 6 picks in a row. And I was just like, out of all these films, I think it's time to pick Requiem for a Dream. I think it just has to be picked now. It wouldn't feel right for me to just wait until my next pick or hopefully someone else picks it. You know what? I'll pick it now, and we'll see how it goes. It has been a very long time since I watched it, so.
Are there any nice films in the pipeline? Or?
Yeah, because like this is still quite impressive. Oh, okay.
My next film is a comedy.
Well, I don't know, man. Like,
Cool
Runnings is quite recent. I don't want you to do it all at once.
Well, I mean, like, it could be a comedy or a comedy, and it's like, oh, right.
No, it's a proper comedy. It's not like I guess it's not properly modern. It's interesting, but it's a comedy. I thought, but I was like, let me pick this first, and then I'll pick that.
Mhm.
Honest. If Rob rolled like a 12 on that dice, we could have picked this way earlier last year. So it's a thing.
I can't believe I was responsible for like nearly picking Requiem for a Dream, and I ended up with the Grinch.
Yeah, it's still funny. It's still funny. I still laugh because it's like I had so many. It was 20 choices, and you just picked the one choice that you really didn't want.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it, man. When you sent me the list, I was like, all right, if we don't get the Grinch, we'll be all right. It's like 1 in 20.
20, but that's what made it way better. But
I
yeah.
love that when work we're just going like, oh, what film is it this week? And I'm like, oh, it's The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and they're like, it's March, and I'm like, I'm aware. How did that happen?
It's just because it's fun. Just because of pure chance, but such a chance. That's what makes. But yeah. Again, this is definitely the film that I think me and Rob as well as just saying. It was on our list. Didn't really want to watch it again because we watched it when we were younger. It was really fucking like depressing, still fucking is, and like it's not as bad as it was as growing up and seeing how it is now. Still didn't enjoy it. That's why like for me it's a 5. It was like either 1, 10, no, half and half. We'll go 5. Yeah, it was like yeah. And I guess I have a fine appreciation for how it's shot. I guess because seeing how the music, they're very. I don't know what to call that. What's the name of the song that keeps playing? I can't remember. It's like the orchestral piece. Orchestral, yeah. But like that.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, it's things. Just seeing how it's shot and how it's done each time, but like. Every time especially each time they do drugs, and how it seems like every time as the film progresses, that those shots get faster and faster slightly, and it's one of those small things that you don't really notice until until I've watched it again, like just recently. I was like, oh right, because of the intensity of what they're doing now, it gets worse, and it's just like it makes a fair amount of sense, especially how it's made. So that was interesting to see how that was done. So it's like, yeah, I didn't remember much of the film except for the last few bits, but that's like jumping ahead. So let's get everyone else in. Hey Pat, how you doing?
Yeah, man. You look like a man who's just watched Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
again.
He always looks like that.
Did you like it on the second watch or
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I gave it a higher story score this time.
I'm happy with that.
But I still thought it was trash.
It's not trash.
You watched it.
I hate this film.
You watched it 2 times.
That was so magnanimous.
I watched it last night, and then Rob and Alec got the ump, and I was like, I'll watch it again, see if I've missed something, see if whatever. And like, I sort of get where he's getting at with the story, but I don't like it. I don't like any of the characters. I think the acting's terrible. Personally, Jared Leto is the worst thing that's ever happened to acting.
They all got Oscars, except Tyrone, except Marlon. They all got Oscars.
For this film?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's how he plays his characters. As long as Jared Leto is playing someone who's slightly drugged up, he's perfect. If he tries to play a more serious role, it doesn't work. Or it just becomes a meme.
He was more enjoyable in Morbius than this.
Well, obviously it was more enjoyable in Morbius because it's fucking hilarious. If he was shooting up and he go, "Hey, Tyrone, it's morbing time," I would have fucking applauded. It doesn't happen. So
Nah, look, it's obviously not a film for me.
Oh,
Like I'm happy it's over and done with. I'm happy my rental's up tomorrow night. I ain't got to watch this film again. I ain't got to talk about it again after tonight, so it's all good.
You know that's not true. You know any film can
Well,
be talked about.
It will be mentioned in the chat probably in 2 years' time, but I don't have to interact if I don't want to.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. It's probably not the worst I've shown you.
And to be fair, like
Sorry.
I think it was a good pick. Don't get me wrong. Like it was something I'd never seen before, and I heard so much good things about it. I don't know why, but you know, it is what it is. But I've now crossed that off my films I have to watch before I die, because it's in. I think I've got like that big 1001 film book thing, and that's in it.
Yeah, and
so.
it's in there. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I helped you do that.
I think I've ranted myself out. I'm quite tired now.
Building Legos will do that to you. Yeah.
I haven't even touched that yet.
You haven't? Oh, damn. I was expecting you to go get the little indie jam.
Nah, I won't touch that until I have a day off.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, this has been on my list since we started Film Club, but I don't know. I suppose I never felt there was a good time for it. I think yeah, it's genuinely one of my favourite films that I've ever seen. Like it's I think for me it's kind of like the sort of like the other side of the coin for Big Fish in a way, because Big Fish, like just on a personal level, like not that they're similar films or anything, but I think Big Fish is the film that I always say is my favourite film, because it's all about the sort of father-son relationship, and it's about them kind of accepting one another's differences and all that kind of stuff. And there's a sort of, well, it's just like a nice feeling that I get from it, and I relate it to me and my dad and all that kind of stuff. But I think Requiem for a Dream, it affects me so much because it plays on like an anxiety I have about my relationship with my mum, and it's heartbreaking, man, because like the whole thing with the mother and son relationship in this is that she will just accept anything of him, and it doesn't matter like how bad a person he is or how badly he treats her, she will just accept it because she's got unconditional love for her son. And that's exactly how my mum is with me. And it's like every time I watch it, I'm like, shit, am I like checking that I'm not being this awful person to her? Like yeah, it really gets me on that level. It's really, really uncomfortable. But I think for a film to be able to do that is really fucking cool. And my 10 for enjoyment isn't out of getting a good feeling out of it, but it's appreciation for what it's able to make me think of and relate to. So yeah.
Yeah. Similar to I didn't give 10, I gave 9.5, but similar. It wasn't that I really enjoyed what was going on. It was that appreciation of like how I've heard over the years as well, like how they edited it in specific ways and get that feeling across and kind of get you in that mindset or help you imagine what these people are going through or like what they're experiencing, and just all the little things together. And also, like, I didn't know some of this until after I scored, but like, I do respect that the actors, all of them, I think in their own way, went through quite a bit to make sure they could do a proper portrayal of this.
Mm.
And for a lot of the actors, most of them at first either turned it down or were going to turn it down until they like initially read a tiny bit of the script, was like, no, I don't want to do some drug movie, whatever, I'm not interested in that. And then they saw, I don't think I've seen his movie Pie.
Mm.
They watched his movie Pie and then went, actually, reread the script and were like, I see what he's trying to do. Actually, yeah, I'll go for this. Like the mom, she felt it was one of her best performances, and she was making people cry on set. Like there's a kind of it's probably well known, but one of the shots, I think it's the kind of mother and son kind of scene, whole long scene. There's a part where the cameraman drifts off. And at first the daughter was like, "What are you doing? Why are you drifting off?" And he saw he was just crying, streaming tears. And his eyepiece had fogged up and everything. He couldn't like properly stay focused on the action. And in the end, the director used that shot. It was probably also like the best take as well. But like you had even Jared Leto, like I mean, I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything about him now. But at the time he spent a lot of time with addicts. And for some reason he would say he would be shooting up water. He was shooting up, but I don't know what he was doing, but like fake shooting up. But then he was just like that whole experience was so horrific. He would never want to do it again. And I think they had a lot of extras, especially in the shot where the guy from Florida came with all the kind of drugs to sell. Most of those actors were junkies.
Yeah.
And
wow, really?
At 3 o'clock in the morning, quite a few of them had to go to get their hit of heroin.
That's mad.
It's just like, wait, what? And like the lady, Marion, she had isolated herself for a long while doing the role and went to a lot of like kind of drug addict anonymous meetings, and like with one of her friends she knew who also suffered with addiction and like drug addiction, all sorts of stuff. And it was just, yeah, a lot of them really tried to make sure they I guess gave the respect the role deserved to really bring it across and do it justice. I appreciate that.
Ellen Burstyn has had like a rough time in film club so far, man. Like this and The Exorcist.
Oh, wait, what was her role in The Exorcist?
The mother again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, before we go further, you mentioned the Oscars thing, right? It only Ellen Burstyn got nominated, but they didn't win anything. So I feel better about that now.
Okay, I thought they all won. Maybe did they all get nominated then?
Nah, just Ellen Burstyn.
I would be quite happy for Ellen Burstyn to get like the best actor this year in our awards.
She was also in Interstellar, and she was also in Wicker Man.
Oh, what a rough ride.
She was in two good films then.
Agree, yeah.
Exorcist and Interstellar.
Disagree.
What is what did she play in Interstellar and Wicker Man?
She was Murph. Old Murph.
Oh, old Murph. Oh yeah. What about Wicker Man?
Murph again. She transcended. No, I guess she was like the matriarch lady.
She's had a good run.
She even survived Jared Leto.
Well,
he's not that bad in this.
Yeah,
I thought he was terrible.
He is like the worst actor, but he is a lot better than he usually is.
Yeah, I think with the benefit of like knowing what he's like now, just like he's fine. He's
seeing this, I've struck Lord of War off my list. I don't even want to watch that again.
What? Yeah, no, you got to remember, it is all about Nicolas Cage.
I know, but I'm not in a rush to watch it.
Okay, all right, fine. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, as long as no seriousness, he was a bit, for his acting, Jared Leto was a bit twitchy and a bit like empty eye. He's like, there's like no soul behind his eyes when he was watching this, when he was doing the acting for this filming. But it makes sense. He's a drug addict on heroin. It fit the character perfectly. It was a bit, he had a vacant look on his face, but it was okay because it's like, that's normal. Like, the only time that he had more like emotions is when his mum was like, he heard his mum like doing like the grinding, chattering of the teeth. Then afterwards it's like, oh, he perks up a bit. But that also makes sense because she was really good at this. Like, she was fucking spectacular. I just can't. It's just depressing seeing the character, sorry, just spiral downwards.
Yeah.
And that's just like.
Most of my acting points were for her.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. How about you guys? Well, your opening statements.
I think you're the only one who hasn't done one, Alec.
Yeah, I had a bit of a moment where I logged it into Letterboxd and it went, "Did you like the film?" And I went, "Don't know, not sure." But yeah, really, I think like really well made, really effective. Difficult wank, I won't lie. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine too.
No,
I didn't hear you properly.
No, I heard him.
I'm not saying it again.
Where you part of the guys that goes.
Said.
Yeah, he was part of the group at the end that goes, come. I just like.
No, it's the electroshock therapy. I can't get enough of it.
Oh, dude.
You say that, but was it the director? He said, because there were like some creative things he changed a bit, and he said, is he the director or the writer? I can't remember now. But the scene with let's just say it orgy scene, whatever. Let's just put it that way to make it more PG. Even though that's not PG. But anyway, he said part of that scene was inspired by a real experience. And I was just like, wait, what? What experience did you have that inspired this?
Oh, there you go. It's self-evident.
And the more I learn about Darren Aronofsky, the more I'm like, he's seen some stuff, that man.
Yes.
But yeah, before I was so rudely interrupted, I was very impressed. Yeah. There you go. That was it. Very impressed. Not sure how much I like it. Probably not going to watch it again. But big thumbs up on the quality front. Although, yeah, that bit. Oh no, that's all right. There's near the end was fucking hard to watch. It was just like, good lord. Right, mate.
And Emmanuel was very inappropriate balloons and fireworks.
Just see balloons and fireworks.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, what are you? I don't know. He's thanking you, Alec, for your input. Yeah. He's not thanking you for the depressing 20 minutes. Yeah, okay.
Final 20 minutes are fucking hard to watch.
Yeah.
Pat, do you now that you've watched it again, do you still think what you said earlier?
Which bit?
About the drugs.
What about the drugs?
About it glorifying drugs.
It does feel that way at times.
What film did you watch?
Well, it's more of an interpretation that I got from it.
I
Like,
watched an interpretive dance based on Requiem for a
I
Dream.
do think that's where the way his directing style sort of is good, where he sort of puts out a story out there, but he does allow you to interpret it your way. I just got the feeling that it was slightly glorifying it, but also showing the horrors of it as well.
I think it
But
was.
I think to show, like, when I sat there and thought about it, it was like, to show the negative part of it, you sort of have to glorify it in some way. Alec, don't look at me like that.
Well,
I think you should start making more sense then.
well,
Well,
okay.
it makes complete sense, but
No,
you
okay.
do.
I think I know what you're saying.
I feel like I still actually understand that a bit, because it begins with like getting high in summer, then afterwards everything, fucked up at fall. I mean, I thought, like, why did they say fall? And I was like, oh, I thought that was a bit on the nose. Then it was like, no, fall as in autumn. Oh, right, of course. That's
Well,
like, yeah.
The last 20 minutes shows the bleak nature of being an addict.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt like earlier in the film, it does sort of glorify it.
Yeah, but that's what the summer was. Is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything was like, for them, like they were making a lot of money. They were on the up and up. Yeah, I'm part of like a distribution and exporting business. Yeah, mum, I'm doing great. You're like, oh, we're gonna start opening a shop. You go meet the girl, Marion. Yeah, she's great. Yeah. It's all happy and all beautiful summer until it wasn't. Then afterwards, when everything went to shit, it really got fucking depressing. I mean, it glorified it because they were making money, because of like, they were being successful, until someone gets shot in the face, then then everything went fucking downhill. I mean, to be honest, it's like, hey Ben, it starts off with that going, hey, we've got a white guy driving for us. Turns around, bang! I was like, oh, okay, cool, right, all right. And I was like, okay, fuck, yeah. So yeah, that's when everything. Yeah, that running. Yeah, that was that him running is. It's because he did Scary Movie, and he's Wayans Brothers, right? And he does comedy more. I just see every time I see him. Fucking yeah, but like, yeah, actually, yeah, all the Wayans Brothers do comedy pretty much, right? But it's like because it's that group and that family, and just like seeing them, it's just like I can't take him as seriously as I should be able to, and it's because, like, you know what it is. I remember him from Scary Movie, and that's just like, yeah, I just can't take him as seriously because of Scary Movie. I just like.
But what I will say is, like, watching it again, I still had the same sort of feeling where it wasn't the hardest film to watch, and I think a large part of it was I didn't feel that much empathy for most of the characters. I didn't like any of the characters, so it was like just sitting there.
I think it's more like, I think the reason I find it such a hard watch is it's less like empathy for those characters specifically, but more empathy for the situations that they're in and the relationships they have with one another. Because, like I said before, like the sort of the mother and son relationship is one that I think is probably relatable for a lot of people. Like, not even like on a specific level of what they're going through, but just that whole thing of like her sort of like not having any expectations of him because he's her son, and what matters to her is that she loves him, kind of thing, and that kind of thing. I think that's like, yeah, I think most people would relate to that on some level without having to like either of them. And I think, like, with the whole thing of whether it glorifies drugs or not, like, I don't see glorification in it. I see sort of like a justification for why these specific people have ended up in the situations that they're with, in like substance abuse and that kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't
there's a
think it
reason-
says like it's a good thing. I think it says like this is an escape for them.
Yeah, there's a reason they engage in it, and it's important to show that it's not all bad for them all the time. But the point is, the ending is on its way.
Yes, that's
It's like you need it for contrast.
also, Pat. I feel like because this is the first time you've watched, second time you've watched it now. You didn't watch it when you were younger, where you see it's kind of like when you're see it through our young eyes, like more, the world is a bit more. You see how it's desolate and more like disturbing. Unlike what you as an adult who's watched more horrendous things, I thought you are slightly used to it. But maybe that's like maybe it depends on each person. But it's like we've seen some worse films in this film club as well compared to this film. But
To be
it's
honest,
like
I'd say my sort of movie watching sort of curve was probably started a lot later than most people here. So that sort of thing, that wouldn't have been at the top of my list. Like, I have a specific sort of type of genre that I've always watched, and now obviously Film Club has sort of brought different stuff in that I would never have watched. I probably never would have watched this, even though it was one that I sort of earmarked as one to watch. I haven't even seen Pie. Don't get any ideas, Rob. Not anytime soon, anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Like,
tolerate pie.
my first Aronofsky film was, well, to be fair, I watched The Wrestler when it was in cinema. I didn't really like it then, but I liked it more when I watched it a few years later. I love Black Swan and I love The Whale, which are for me are his two best films.
Yeah, Black Swan was his.
oh damn, I haven't watched
that
The
was
Whale
great.
yet. Fuck, I forgot about that.
I haven't
Black
seen that
Swan
either.
is, I'd say that's probably a harder watch.
No, I don't think so. I think so Black Swan is based on Perfect Blue. I think Perfect Blue is like,
Yeah,
well,
he
to be
got
fair,
the
you see
rights
a
to
lot
make
of
a
Requiem
real
for a
live
Dream in it as
action of
well.
that.
I've
I don't remember
never
Natalie
even heard of
Portman
Perfect
being.
Blue before now.
I don't remember Natalie Portman being fed tapioca, which she then spits out everywhere. Like that. That was particularly hard for me to watch.
I mean, that's a turn on for other people, so we'll see.
Oh man.
sorry.
Saying that reminds me, there's a scene in this that he takes from Perfect Blue because he already had the rights at this point.
Yeah.
It's the scene where the lady's in the bath.
Yeah, the
And she
bathtub and
screams.
the sort of yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't do that in Black Swan, did they?
Nah. But Darren Aronofsky is like he idolized Satoshi Kon, so like there's a lot of references to like Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, like yeah.
I haven't seen Paprika actually.
It's on Netflix
It
now.
was on my list.
I've heard good things.
It's brilliant, yeah. All of Satoshi Kon's films are brilliant. Like it's a tragedy he died.
That's sad. To add to what other people were saying, with the glorification thing, so in general, Darren's approach to it, can't remember how to say his last name now, but Darren's approach to things, so he used to really have a big problem with parts of cinema that would, or rating systems that would go, oh, you could have tons of gun violence and whatnot in a PG-13 as long as it doesn't have any blood. And he's just like, what the crap is that? Like, you have people dropping down dead, no blood. You're not showing the consequences of these things. Like, people being shown these things, young people being shown these things, need to see both sides of it. Like, I get that you have to have a proper certification so that people know what they're going into, and like young people or parents need to go with it, know what they're bringing their children into. But I don't agree with these loopholes and stuff without like showing one part without the other part.
Yeah.
And So from his like point of view, yeah, he's like, I want to show both parts, because at the end of the day, you will have people who maybe they get a taste of that world, or they kind of, well, they know people that are saying, oh yeah, you could come do this stuff with us. It's like, yeah, there's going to be days where it's good, and you will see all the positive sides. But if you get into it, there is going to be a fall.
Mm.
And he's I think he's trying to represent it more balanced to show both sides, so that it I guess it doesn't seem too biased. Saying that he wanted on the 3 steps to what was it, happiness or whatever, or what was that guy on the TV saying, 3 steps plan to something?
The 10 days, 10 pounds thing, or you mean like the
guy on TV?
It was something like 10 steps to happiness. Yeah.
He said no red meat, no refined sugars. I did like my classic thing of rewinding a lot throughout this whole film, so there's a lot. It helped me remember. But the third thing he wanted to say no pharmaceuticals, because of a lot of the problems at the time, even when the book was written, and still when the film was made, of people ending up like Ma, ending up like the mother in America. But he took it out because they were worried pharmaceutical companies were going to kind of like be like, I say not properly come for them, but in a way, yes, for feeling like they were being called out.
That's mad, isn't it?
So yeah, instead it got changed to orgasms, no orgasms. But the Darren was just like, no, this ain't right. So every time it got to that part, he just made it so that she just started having illusions and stuff. So you didn't know what the third step ever was. Apparently it's on the board somewhere still in the film, but it's never said, which I think was his best that way. That would have been kind of weird. I wonder what you guys think about this. So with Tyrone, we almost got Dave Chappelle instead.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. So Wayne's was his second choice. Dave Chappelle turned it down. He was just like, yeah, nah, don't do that. And Tyrone, even though he was mostly happy with it, there was one point he had to kind of coach him on not being so stiff, especially when it came to the sex scenes. Yeah. I didn't realize Darren also likes shooting sex scenes.
Yeah,
I don't.
Oh, I could very well imagine it.
Has he been in porn before?
No.
Well, he looks like someone that has.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Because I know he said on occasion, like different occasions, he would be very happy shooting porn. But I don't know if he's ever actually done it.
No, I don't know.
I mean, he must have like a porn director's name. Like, I don't know. He couldn't use his actual name. That's probably the reason. I mean, like, he might have filmed. I mean, like, if he's filmed porn, he wouldn't use his real name. He would be like, yeah, I'm
It'd be Aaron Darrenofsky.
Oh, man. Yeah. But one other thing. Oh, that's his face. Saying that, I could give him like a kind of, what's the film we watched? You picked. It was about porn actors. Was it Rob or someone else?
That was literally like last round.
Yeah, imagine him in that with that styling in that film. Yeah, he'd suit right in.
Requiem for a Boogie Night? What?
Oh man. No, I'm just saying. Imagine the director just playing a role in there.
Oh right,
but with the styling of that era, I think he would fit right in with that mustache.
Requiem for a Boogie Night would be a fucking rough watch.
Oh,
man,
yeah, I
that
don't
would
want to
be
imagine.
truly
Yeah, that sounds already dark. Actually, fucking
So,
hell.
He's
It
went
would
to
be
some
it'll be a good,
places.
interesting thing.
You say
I
that,
mean,
Ben, but
it's-
like,
Well said. Well said.
yeah, Ben.
Also, sorry, Karen.
I was gonna say, do you? Hello, Ben. We haven't seen you for a long while. Do you?
Yeah, no, I should get my opening statement in. I liked it more than Pat. Don't worry about that. But like is a
miracle.
like is a word that I'll be like. I'm not sure if I could do it justice by saying that. I'd say it's a film that I really admire, and I feel I really admire. Yes, I think the acting is great. I think its story is like it's this cause and effect that just escalates, and it just gets worse and worse. And I feel like it's really brilliantly structured, and yeah, the filmmaking is just like like no other. It's one of those films that it gives you this false sense of what's the word? False sense of security, where it
Full
starts
sense of
off.
insecurity.
Yeah, that. Or it starts off kind of like normal and complacent and just like these are normal people doing their everyday thing, and then these little details come in, and things keep getting worse and worse and worse, and to the point where it's just literally hell, like I said, and it gets to a point where it's like the ending of the film couldn't come soon enough, and I was like, I don't want to see this film again. Happily not see this film ever again, but I do think it's a brilliant piece of like a cautionary tale of drug addiction and how it literally messes with everyone, like no matter the age you are, no matter your sex or anything like that, it will get people, it will get you somehow, and you just have to be more. Yeah, you just can't. You have to learn from these characters, and these characters, they start off with great intentions, but they just make terrible choices. What I did find quite interesting to me, in my opinion, I feel like it's kind of like a textbook, kind of like, well, maybe not a demonstration, but kind of like this is kind of what Vince Gilligan would have seen and been like, okay, I can do this with like some of my influence from Breaking Bad here, because how some of these meth addicts are affected by this or that drugs or whatever. And I feel like it represented Jesse and Jane's story quite well, how they went through their little arc of how terrible and horrible the drugs they took and went through, and what the substances they took and versus the substances they took in this film, how it affected them like so severely. It just kind of ruined their lives and shaped them into the people they became. And not just the story part of it, it's just like the cinematography and how Aronofsky kind of framed certain things, and the kind of like franticness about it, and the choice of angles, and the weird like fast pace everything, the opposite of slow mo, just like everything fast forward, showing the progress of time and what these people were doing, and it's just like, this is they're having another hit. And I felt that was a really quite like, wow, okay, I can see how Vince got the idea for some of the shots in Breaking Bad from this film, because it's so distinctive and so its own thing, and it's really unique, and it's gets the point across so well that these people are like on the edge of like oblivion, and just so I did admire it for those reasons as very much, even though like the final 20 minutes is so brilliantly horrible. I think how Clint Mansell's music kind of interwoves like the sequences of all four characters just ODing and doing their thing to get the money for the drugs, and it's so uncomfortable, but it's so brilliantly uncomfortable. It's kind of like, this is great, but I don't want to see this again, because it's so I feel like I'm gonna bite my nails off and kind of like puke myself because of what they're going through. It's just like, yeah, it's so brilliantly realized, because this is what these people would go through, and it's realistic and reflective of real life. So yeah, impressive film. Yeah, just not a nice one.
So you rated the acting, you say?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I
would say that the acting is pretty damn good. Even if Jared Leto is involved, it's probably one of his best performances. This and Fight Club, I think,
Can I share with you?
ones.
Can I share a hot take with you?
Mm-hmm.
Someone, I'm not going to say who, said that he was worse than his performance in Morbius.
You mean Michael Morbius, living vampire. Michael Morbius.
Yeah. very same.
That's pretty good, Ben. They should have got you to do it.
Yeah,
was
Ben
me.
would have probably been good.
Pat was the
No, no.
casting director for Morbius.
Oh.
If I was the
It was-
casting director of Morbius and Jared Leto was my only option, it wouldn't have been made.
Yeah, fair enough.
To add something, I forgot about this, but so when I was probably like a young teenager, I read a book that was similar to this, but all the main characters were teenagers. So from like 15 to 17. And the director, to make it more impactful of like just how bad the consequences can be of like drug addiction and different things like this, he actually wanted to make the characters, wanted the characters to be young teenagers.
Mm.
And at first the author was like, I'm not sure, but then it came around, so I was like, okay, maybe we could. But then the producers just like, no, if you make this with teenagers, almost no one's gonna watch this. America at the time anyway, it's just like people aren't gonna accept like what these young people are going through, even though it is reality, and it's still even more so a reality now. But even though it was a reality at the time, it was too hard of a reality to put in the cinemas.
Mm.
It's like people aren't going to watch this. Like we can't do it. We have to stick with the age of the characters, like the adult ages the characters are like in the book. Like I'm sorry, and like the author realized, you know what? Yeah, you've got a point. Like yeah, people aren't going to watch this. They won't be able to take this. But Darren really didn't want to. He felt forced to put it as adult characters when he wanted younger. I just found that interesting because I was imagining, I was just like, wait, if it was like in that book I read, that was truly horrible. Like, imagine, and I haven't seen it, but imagine like the beginning of, I say the beginning of Trainspotting. But yeah, the beginning of Trainspotting. There's parts in Trainspotting.
Trainspotting.
No, but I've read some of it. I want to watch the films because the book was hard. It was a hard read. I never finished it. I was just like, man, this is best up. I wonder what the film was like.
I've only seen Trainspotting 2, and that was when I went to see it with Rob.
Oh, you never saw Trainspotting 1?
Nah, I bought it, but I've not watched it.
You two have just bumped up a
wrong
bit.
with
then.
everybody?
Yeah,
It was on my-
They have been spotting trains no more.
It was on my list of possible picks in the far future, but I wasn't really sure because again, I haven't seen it. But it's something I do want to watch. That's why I've left it on my list, just to remind myself to watch it.
Mhm.
I was
Oh, yeah,
astounded that you'd never seen it, and then I was more astounded that Pat had only seen the sequel.
Yeah, I was just imagining that. I was just like, that would be messed up. Seeing young kids go through that, nah. Nah. The producers that they were right in their thinking. Like this was hard enough at the time. You didn't need to then bring young teenagers into this. I think that would have been truly grim.
Yeah, to be fair, like Hubert Selby Jr. books are pretty mad. Like I've tried to read Last Exit to Brooklyn a few times, and it's just I get to a point where I'm like, this is a bit too much.
Really.
Yeah.
Like too much in what way would you say?
It's just like abject misery for everyone. Like, like not so much in like a Cape and Elm sense, but just like everyone's living in like the worst form of poverty and having to do like the worst stuff to try and survive, and it's just it's heavy.
Yeah.
I like how
I think-
manual picks have to have like flavors dedicated to that. Like, is it a Cape and Elm sort of misery, or is it a Requiem for a Dream kind of misery?
Well,
Yeah.
that is the thing for me, because like Cape and Elm misery is like overbearing for me, because it's like the world is hopeless and there's not much point trying to reason with it. Whereas like with Requiem for a Dream, it's like it's so miserable because there's like love amongst them, I think.
Yeah, to me, it's kind of like Cape and Elm, the world is horrible. In Requiem for a Dream, the characters make these poor decisions, which makes their world horrible.
Mm.
And it's kind of like
Yeah.
if they would just like they had a bit of self-control and they just didn't say like maybe we shouldn't do this here, maybe we shouldn't do this or that. Maybe if we stopped right here, things would be okay. But they just continue, and that's what makes their world hell.
Well, I mean, in
Mm.
Requiem for a Dream, it's worse because as much as they care and love for each other, they make their own vices worse
Yeah,
for each other by themselves.
they
Like,
stirred the pot.
It's yeah, because like the point is like for his mum, he gave her the new TV, and for the girlfriend, he literally ripped down the number for the Tim, Big Tim is what they called him. So it's like, and he literally ripped down the number and gave it to her. It's like, here, take this fucking shit if you really need it. And I was like, fuck, they literally built their own misery, and that's the worst part because they helped each other get worse, and that's just like the worst sort of like downward spiral they could possibly imagine. I love you, but like it doesn't. I mean, like I also hurt you as well, and it's like, fucking hell, man, you all did this to each other, and it doesn't help at all. And it's like, yeah, I guess with Cape and Elm, it's just like, yeah, it's him versus the world, and it's just like, yeah, it's a different sort of pain.
Mm.
And for like, I don't know if it's just like I also, maybe it's because I'm blanking because I don't want to remember. I just can't remember what other sort of like depressing movies that we've chosen through like the
I mean,
while.
Holy Spider was pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like Holy Spider, because it had an ending that had what's the best way to say it? It had an ending that was kind of like, I wouldn't say satisfying, but it was like, oh, it had a decent enough conclusion. But then again, it was based off a real story, so I can't really say, you can't really say the story was good or bad because it just happened. It's kind of the same thing that happened with She Resembles Me, and it's like, it's like we watched it. I was like, oh yeah, it wasn't like it was depressing, but like it had an ending that it concluded quite well, and I feel like that's fine in itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Have you got the news on?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm sorry.
I didn't expect it to be you, Emmanuel.
It's to be Rob. So
It's not the news, but yeah.
Oh.
excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think in this it's just because of like it's just the dynamics between them all, and it's the justification for it as well. It's like nobody's necessarily in any of the situations that they're in because they want to be in them. It's because they're trying to they're trying not to feel like the sort of the hurt of everyday life, basically. And I think that's where I sort of go like, oh, that's something that any of us could end up in. And I think because the addictions are also like some of them are so mundane, like TV, like it's, like it's played to the extreme, but you kind of go like, yeah, you can see how that kind of like being addicted to that kind of like escapism can be as damaging as anything else if that's the rest of your life.
I think that's a lot of why the mum is there, because like you can kind of if it was just Harry and Tyrone and Marion, then you could be like, oh, those kids, they knew what they were doing, and it's some far off thing that like can happen to that only happens to like those types of people. But then you see it's happened with the mum, and you see like how it's happened with the mum, like where it like it's just over the counter prescription medicine, and the mate's just gone like, oh, it really helps with stress, and then she's possibly got it like the worst of them, and it's I think just having her there makes it all like a lot more like tangible and a lot more like, oh fuck, this could be me, like
yeah.
And it's I think this is why I don't necessarily think it's like important to like the characters necessarily. Like I think you can kind of see. Well, I don't know. Someone losing his arm is kind of shit, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, like, that's like the most memorable thing that I remember from like the last time I watched it many years ago. Is the arm thing, and it's like, oh, just seeing him crying with his arm missing is just like, just that shot was fucking horrendous just to see it, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, and this is why I find it so, I don't know, this is why I find it quite strange to think like it glorifies drugs, where it's just kind of like Jared Leto loses his arm, Marion's forced to take part in group sex in front of a bunch of fucking perverts. The mum is like going under electroshock therapy, and Tyrone's working in a jail. Like none of it's nice. Like, even if there was like kind of like a high point earlier on, I think that is just there to kind of accentuate just how low they end up going like into, and it's just like, yeah. And because of the mum being there, it's real. This could be your mum. This could be, if you like, I think that's just like a real easy window to like relate to someone, where you just kind of like, fuck, have I called my mum today? And I'm like, no, I haven't actually called my mum today. Wonder what she's doing right now. And it's, I think any son who doesn't live at home is guilty of not talking to his mum enough. And I think that's something you can, like, everyone can relate to, and it's just kind of like, fuck, she could be taking pills right now. You don't know, like just.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, but I still, I get what you're trying to say. I also still agree with what Pat said about it glorifying it, because that's kind of what it. Okay, let me explain it this way.
Tell me why.
Because essentially, you needed that sort of glorification and the up for it to be the down, but you still needed it to be shown as a up, which is purposeful because it's how it's designed for the story, I think. Because if it didn't have, as you say, the design for it to be, it's a high in the most literal senses, then you wouldn't get that extremely devastating crash and low. Because
okay, so how are you defining glorify though? Because I think of glorifying as you have like people winning because they take drugs, like they get off better for doing it.
Well, okay. Well, it is again with the mum character. For when at the beginning she was taking the normal amount of the is it an would you say it's an opioid or I can't remember the type of drug it is, but it's pills, right? When she was taking the Emmanuel, you muted. No.
It's basically speed.
Yeah, that's what I thought,
like
right?
Yeah, it's a hospital type version. I don't know if it's Valium or something else, but yeah, it's basically speed. That's why he recognizes it.
Okay, so when that was beginning at the start, when she was taking the pills at the start at the beginning in the correct order, the correct dosage, it was glorifying because she was, as her friends was like, oh, you've got thinner. Oh, you actually have more energy and you were healthy. It was showing, this is part of like this is, I feel like the opioid addiction beginning of America. This is why Emmanuel was talking about how he was blaming pharmacies. Obviously, can't say that because pharmaceuticals will probably shit on this movie more than anyone else, right? But that was actually, I feel like, a problem in the States. I feel like it's still a problem now, but it's like the over-the-counter medicines from this sort of like slightly dodgy doctor. It was still like, it was glorified because she was saying, well, you know, he didn't even look up from that little boy. He's like, this one's some, you just feel like you're a bit fat. Okay, whatever. Okay, yeah, take this. That's what it was. He was just billing her. It was just, all right, take this paper, give me your money, we'll give you the drugs. And after she took the normal amount, she cleaned her apartment, all tidy and stuff. She felt happy and stuff. She had a purpose in life. You know, I'm an old lady. You know, I'm just waiting for this letter and phone call. I just gonna make myself look beautiful. And that's all I need. And I'm happy about that. That's the glorified part. Again, the summer part. Then afterwards, she takes too many pills. It was just that one thought of, I don't feel the pills are working anymore. No, they're fine. Just keep with the normal amount, and just the normal amount will be perfect. Until she didn't. Then it was prime and beautiful until it went off. Then afterwards, it slowly descended. So it still needed. I feel like it needed like that glorification before it went, down.
I don't know if I'd describe this as glorification, though. I think I'd probably more readily say this was like an accurate depiction, because if she took drugs and then immediately became addicted and she's grinding her teeth and shit, that's not necessarily how drugs work. I wouldn't have thought. So I think there's a reason people take drugs. So I think like having that brief positive thing is fine, but then like the danger of it is you get addicted to that good feeling and then you can't stop it. And I think that's, there needs to be a benefit to it, or people wouldn't take drugs. Sorry, Rob.
I think it's like it's a step further than that as well, though, because the only reason that she's seeking out the positive feeling that the drugs are giving her is because there's a void in another part of her life that means so much to her.
I think I think that's it as well. It's kind of like all these people are so scared of feeling a negative emotion and confronting that. Like she can't confront the idea that Harry's left home and she can't take care of him anymore. So what does she do? She gets addicted to TV. She's trying to do the diet, but the diet's not working. So she gets addicted to pills which suppress her appetite. And if you're not eating anything, you do get thinner. But then, you do feel good after that. But I don't think it's glorifying it after the point where you hang on, where you physically cannot stop. Like that's the danger of it.
So I guess we're stuck on the word glorification or glorifying it. I guess I feel like would it be? I guess without trying to make it sound overly simplified, would it just say it makes drugs too positive, or in its own sort of way, but it makes sense that it's positive because it's drugs?
So the way I understand the term glorification is it would be if the film ended with them all being better off. They all took drugs and then their lives improved and that was the end.
Oh, okay, because I'm that's what. Okay, I would say it was glorifying drugs at summer, then then afterwards, because it was a sharp decline at fall, then the glorification stops. Then you go, oh, actually, it's not. But I feel like you're seeing it as glorification as the film as total. I'm saying glorification as it as was per season or per scene, if you know what I mean.
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, I think, but I think that the positivity that you see from the drugs is only as a result of the negativity that leads her or leads anyone to becoming involved in them. So I wouldn't say that it sort of shows them in any kind of positive light. It just sort of shows it shows like a synthetic emotion that they're replacing a real emotion with.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, it's
kind of,
it's kind of
Yeah, but
plastering over it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's kind of the point for the mother's case, because it's a fake high. That's why she's enjoying it. That's why she enjoys it and glorify or positive lights it. So it becomes her like driving force for her life during that period of time before it
Yeah.
breaks the low. Yeah. I think
I think we just
agree.
need to avoid
we're-
saying glorification.
yeah, I feel like we need to find the right word. Just say, yeah, she's really feeling gazebos about it. Yeah, because of the gazebos. Yeah, I know. Just pick. It's just pick another word except for glorification. All right. Yeah, she's feeling 100 gazebos about it. I know. Yeah. Yeah, she's really gazeboed up. Yeah. That's it. We're arguing the word semantics, and I feel like we agree on the same point, which is the problem for us. I feel like. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, but that crash for when it does happen was so extreme. Because I am stuck on the slight point, Emmanuel, because you said that they were actual drug addicts during that scene when they were in like that back of the supermarket thing, right?
A lot of them. Yeah.
Oh, really, I felt that really bad choice. I get it's like real. It's not even acting. It's just like real people. But I just felt like you saying that just made me think: was that gun actually part of the movie, or was that actually one of the drug addicts thinking he had drugs there? I don't know if it was like method acting or he actually thought, no, this director's offered us drugs. Give me my drugs. I was like, oh, it made me go, it made me feel, it would maybe wince because I was like, oh, that just feels dangerous and unclean in its own way. It's like, I just did someone stab me with like a needle? I just felt itchy for a second. I was like, ugh.
Mhm.
So it's just a thing about it. It's just like, I don't know. Man.
That's fair enough. That makes sense. One thing I thought about during this time when someone sounded like the doctor. Actually, can you hear me okay, or is it too loud in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good, man.
Okay, I'll just keep myself on mute. But the original author, he wrote the character Dr. Pill like that because during the 70s or whatnot, he basically had a lot of experiences like that, and there were a lot of people like him in the kind of, I guess, doctor, medical field, whatnot, who were like that. There was such an abuse of not just power, but like, I guess, giving out drugs and this and that, and he put that into his book. And when Darren directed the actor to do the role, the only direction he gave him was to not look at Ma, like never look at her. And the actor was just like, yeah, that was probably one of the hardest things I've done.
Mhm.
It's one of those interesting things. Like, you naturally want to look at someone, but he's playing this role where it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this stuff. If it kill you, I could care less. Here you go. and that's how reckless some medical people were. Just, yeah. So sad. Yeah.
I feel like that's still happening. I feel like unfortunately it's happening more in the States nowadays because like even when I was there like a few years ago, I still a lot of drugs are advertised on TV for everything nowadays. So it's like a lot of pill popping, and it's just like it's part of every day in the States, and it's like that's I don't know if that's just part of what they just do. I feel like doctors can just prescribe you things just to make your feelings go away. I don't know if that's just part of like the culture in just modern society or just like all society in general. I just don't know if it's like a thing.
I think that was probably a thing like around the time that this would have been in production. Like it was probably more of a thing then. Because although I mean saying that even now, because you've got that whole thing with what's that drug in Hollywood that's become like a massive thing? Like it's an over the counter diabetes drug, but loads of people are using it for weight loss.
Yeah.
No wait, no,
I don't.
Ritalin is the ADHD drug. Sorry,
It's like Oz something, Ozempic or something like that.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
They're like, don't take this because you don't have diabetes. There could be other like proper side effects we haven't studied about. Like, stop taking this.
But yeah, I think it's still like a huge culture of like sort of why kind of go through like the actual process of dealing with something if you can just take a tablet for it.
Oh, that's just that was a statement, Rob. Fucking hell, yeah. It's like that's just the statement of the ages, isn't it? It's like you don't have to worry about anything. Just eat this pill. It will only cost you $5.99, and we take payment plans. And it's just like it's just like it's just it's just society.
Yeah, Mr. White Science.
Okay, as I say, this call took a turn for the worse, for depressing. But yeah, thanks for saving it, Ben. Yeah, at least now we have shows that talk about all the types of drugs, and drugs is bad, but it makes a killer TV show.
You know what else it reminded me of? Obviously, like I think we were talking about it earlier in the week because of the Joker and the sequel coming out, and there was elements of this that obviously the Joker, the first film, kind of took reference to as well. I think Arthur's character, obviously, and his Arthur's relationship with his mother and how she's kind of like he imagines himself on TV and stuff, and he had these hallucinations that go on with like the mother being wanting to be something else she isn't, and I felt that was quite cleverly done, especially how they did the mum's hallucinations of seeing like the chat show host kind of coming to life in her living room, and it's just him being there and her like interacting and just seeing just because that's her main goal and her main want is to be on TV and being kind of like this martyr, or maybe not martyr, but kind of like this perfect example of just being like, yeah, I'm beautiful, I look great, I feel great, and everything that comes with it. Obviously the Joker film took influence for that. It's just kind of like someone wanting to be something they're not and doing everything they can to try and be that someone, even if it's like whatever they choose is the wrong way about it. And it just shows you how a normal person, just anyone we know, anyone's mother, anyone we know that's kind of like in this situation could go to that route. because you kind of think, oh, it's just going to be like the fall of Joe Little's character and his mate, but it's more than that. It's more of the thought of how drugs will affect just someone like his mother that you wouldn't expect it to affect. And I felt that was a really interesting point to make across in this film, because yeah, you wouldn't expect her to be seduced so much by this effort, this kind of like bullshit thing that on TV completely kind of like flummoxed her, and she's just taken in by it, and she kind of gets addicted, and that's the horrible thing. So yeah, that's a really great theme. I felt they did really well with her point. Good, especially if you're like force fed with a tube down your nose. That's not nice. I was so uncomfortable watching that bit. I think if we were going to do favorite scenes, I think we should do least favorite scenes. It's probably that bit, and where you see like Joe Little's arm for the second time, where he's literally just his arm's just like so horrible and raw and purple, and just like, oh.
Before I saw it for the first time, like the scene with the arm is the one that people always spoke about, but I don't know, like that wasn't the one that stayed with me. Like the one that stayed with me was like the end shot with the sort of like fantasy TV show kind of thing.
You mean when everyone is crying in the fetal position?
Oh yeah, no, it's the one with the mum where like it's sort of fantastical reality kind of thing where she's
when she's hugging Harry and she's like, yeah. Okay.
He looks great. He's got perfect hair, and she's got a red dress on and perfect red hair as well. And it's like the idealistic
that's the one
version
that really gets me. Like that just it makes me feel so uncomfortable, and it's like burned into my brain. Like it's
because she can't escape that fantasy, can she?
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, and that's a good cautionary tale about how awful like advertisements and like corporate greed can mess normal people up for just like profit. It's like, yeah, here's an effort, buy our product. We don't care what it does to you, but as long as you buy our product.
But this got depressing again. So it's yeah, I mean, like, Jordan.
What?
I mean,
the Requiem for a Dream call got a bit depressing. Get out of here.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we compared this to Capitalism, but at least like you did, Emmanuel. At least you didn't come into this call crying. So I feel like it's not as bad compared to Capitalism. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah,
I think the best one for that was Train to Busan, to be honest.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because Emmanuel watched it like Emmanuel finished it like after we started the call, and we were all sat here going like, "Yeah, that's badass," and then Emmanuel just came in with like a face full of tears, and we were like, "Oh."
Yes.
It was a really touching moment.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like the ending scene, right? It really gets to you because you like just singing the Hawaii song, and it's just really fucking sad at the end. Fuck yeah, really sad. But like yeah, just whole Train to Busan is more action to sadness for me because I feel like it really established the concept of zombies that can run. And like run. Well, no, seriously, zombies used to be just shuffling hordes of
with the runs.
Like now they can run, and it's scary.
You just see World War Z.
Well, yeah, no, World War Z got ruined for me because of the advertisement, right? Essentially, do you know who I think of when I see World War Z now? I just go, I feel like I want to drink a Pepsi. That's all I can. That's what happened for World War Z for me. Essentially, it's
Pepsi.
Pepsi. It's the fact that it's Brad Pitt drinking a can of Pepsi in front of the Pepsi vending machine. That's all I see when I think about World War Z now, and it fucking annoys me because it was supposed to be interesting. And I heard the book is really fucking good, but like all I can think about it now is just him going, and it just goes like fucking hell, bro. Why did you do that to me?
Whatever you do, don't watch Madam Web because that's like that scene on crack.
Oh fucking hell! I haven't watched that. And from what everyone says, it's so bad. I just like I don't.
Yeah, don't bother with it.
But,
Save your time.
Yeah, but like I feel like. Well, wait. Who just watched Wish? It was you, Alec, right?
What?
Did you watch
Wish,
Wish?
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it's because it's on Disney. I'll probably watch it eventually because I've got a Disney Plus, and it's like I might as well watch it eventually. Some of the other things, like I didn't watch Luca for a long while. I was like, oh, actually, I watched it. I was like, it's not too bad actually. It's quite neat. But it's like for eventually when Madam Web gets on Disney Plus, I will watch it and I'll be like, at least I didn't pay for it technically.
It probably won't.
It really is. What? Why?
Because it's not a Disney Marvel film. It's Sony, ain't it?
Is it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Sony.
because Morbius ain't on there either.
I personally
Right,
love
Netflix.
that you can't tell the difference. That's so good.
Netflix and Sony have not Netflix. Disney and Sony have just entered into a distribution agreement together, haven't they? So maybe.
Oh yeah, true. If they can get a hold of Spider-Man, that's the only reason they're doing it.
Yeah, I think it depends if Sony want to, I don't know, give Disney a bit more money or something.
Yeah, but it's kind of, isn't it?
And not have it on
ideally,
their
they
own
wouldn't.
platform.
Yeah, but isn't Spider-Man on like Netflix now because of like Sony? The Sony.
Yeah, it has been for
Yeah,
a while,
Netflix,
but
but
I don't know.
it's not on Disney Plus.
So to me, well, I mean, technically, if Spider-Man is on Netflix, Madam Web might go on Netflix afterwards. Maybe.
It'll be free eventually. Morbius was free at some point.
Well, I mean, essentially, if it's on there for free, I'll probably watch it for the sake of going. Might as well finish it up. It is like, you know, it's one of those things of like I'll watch it eventually, or if I have a lot of time. But it's like, you know, I'll watch it eventually. Eventually. So from what everyone's saying is like, yeah, Pepsi.
I had no idea you had such a
No,
deep hatred of Pepsi.
No, I love drinking Pepsi. I just don't like the. I just don't like the fact that when I see World War Z, all I see is Brad Pitt just drinking a can of Pepsi and just drinking it in front of the Pepsi machine. When he was done in things like, you know, what was it?
Go on, Rob, drink it.
Go on, Rob. He's gonna go crazy.
It's been here for a while. I better not.
You're not Brad Pitt, the main character in the movie, who purposely stopped the movie for 2 minutes to do a Pepsi ad. That's what the fucking problem was. If it was in the background and like, oh, he just grabbed a Pepsi while he was like on the run, it would be the one thing. But it's like he literally stood there, got the Pepsi from the vending machine, drank it, went wove the Pepsi in the shop, and it's a whole thing about it. It's kind of like if I suddenly went
a cunt.
Well, I mean, like if I had like a big Coca-Cola sign, then afterwards went, the newest Coca-Cola Lime, and it was just like it'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you getting paid for this advertisement? It's like, yeah, probably. It's just like a whole fucking stupid thing.
Don't watch the Fast and Furious movies.
This took a turn I did not expect.
Yeah, this is second only to Century Eggs.
No. Essentially, it's.
Oh
just
God!
like,
Don't do that again.
it's like when you guys have advertisements in movies, and it's just like in the background. It's like, yeah, sure. Like with Sony, they were showing off like for like Enter the Spider-Verse. It was showing the new like Sony headphones. Sure, that's fine. It's because it's part of Sony and it's the thing. If he was during mid-swing as Spider-Man, he stopped and grabbed a Coca-Cola, you'd be like, it's like you're really pushing what is considered not an advertisement, right? And it's just like, it felt icky. Let's say.
Well, the one that really annoys me is like, I can't think of an example now, but it's that shot where like there's multiple cans or whatever on a table or a worktop or whatever, and they're all pointed forward so you can see the label on all of them. That always really annoys me.
Wait, what was the? Didn't they do it for Transformers for like Budweiser or Bud Light or something, right?
No, I mean Transformers was guilty of a lot.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's true. But never mind. So like, but yeah, the point is like, over the top advertisement with the things is kind of like, unless it's like a point or or like a joke about it as a movie, then there's a whole thing. Was it Wayne's World that did it or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They did the whole advertisement bit, and that was fine because it was funny. But then again, it's a comedy, so it's okay. But like for
it's a bit like your double bill, where Guinness was integral to the plot. Where it was like, yeah, I can see that. That's all right.
Yeah, actually, that's when it just they were talking a lot about Guinness, but at least it had something to do with plot. If Pepsi was a thing that was a cure for the zombie outbreak, now and then you'd be like, weird, but okay. It's kind of like, I can't believe I just thought about this. Did you remember the movie Evolution?
Oh, fucking
Yes.
Evolution! I loved that when I was a kid.
Do you remember what cured the weird zombie? Well, not zombies, the weird dinosaur monster.
Oh, wasn't it like Mountain Dew or something?
No,
No,
it's Head and Shoulders.
Oh,
the fact
yeah,
that
Head
you
and
fucking
Shoulders.
the fact that
Head
you
and
remembered
Shoulders.
it quite well shows you the problem with advertisements in movies.
I
And
thought
it's
it was
just like,
ludicrous.
yeah, it was hilarious though, right? But you were like, what the... So was this movie a whole Head and Shoulders ad?
Oh.
It was just like, it was such a thing about it. I know this is a really big tangent from what the movie was going for, but like us talking about just advertisements in general is kind of like the advertisements for drugs and all the stuff for Requiem of a Dream. Everything is just like in your face about the adverts. Oh, capitalism. No one cares about anything. It's all about the money. Let's get some money, people. Let's get some sponsored ads in here. Rob, can you do sponsored ads for these videos?
I'm not sure he would sponsor us.
No, I mean, just put ads on the video. It'll be fine.
I didn't expect the tirade to end with, can we do it on our videos?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, like,
Good
if everyone else is making money on this shit, let's get some money on it as well.
I mean, I suppose to be fair, as long as we don't do it like Transformers does it, then I'm not opposed to it entirely. Like, I don't want us to start going like, this is so great that we can turn it into a Beats by Dre pill. Like, it's...
We're not sponsoring BetterHelp.
If you really wanted it to, Raid Shadow Legends will probably say yes.
Yeah, shit, yes.
Fucking Raid Shadow Legends. We're not doing them anymore.
Maybe we could get a sponsor for our energy drink.
Oh, very.
What's the name of the energy drink sponsors? This episode is done by G Fuel. And we just gotta have a very catchy G Fuel name. Let's see. Because we're good brothers, we can be a bunch of berries. We'll be the good berries. Yeah. G Fuel Goodberry. There we are. Yeah.
That's just a natural fit, guys.
Yeah. Shit, I can't believe we just do. Back to not marketing. Okay, back to this film.
Back to favorite and least favorite scenes with Mr. Lego Man.
Hey.
I got this fair and square by buying it with a Lego pen. So don't worry, I didn't rob any kids.
You look quite guilty there, Pat. Have you robbed kids today?
No,
Were you that
it
parent
was,
who was causing a tidal wave of Lego?
no, it was an interesting day. Let's say that.
Well, that to me says that you robbed kids of Lego.
Nah, they robbed me of time. Well, the thing is, right? I'm stood there watching people make it all up, and like colleagues making it up as well. And then I completely forgot that I put a bet on the Grand National, and my mum was like, "Oh, well done, you won." So, oh, did I? I was like, okay, I'll check with Paddy Power. I was like, oh, sweet. I'll just buy this box of Lego then instead. I don't want to root through all this shit to get some free Lego. I'd rather just pay 20 quid and have all the bits I need, and I can just make it whenever.
I've got to say, it's a weird way to refer to your heritage, but fair enough.
My heritage.
I will just check my Paddy Power.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Bit mid.
No, that was brilliant.
You said this was mid. You can't be trusted.
What else did I say was mid?
The film that we're talking about.
Nah, I didn't say it was mid.
It was trash.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. Mid and trash is two things.
Not if you're a kid. Mid means bad on Twitter.
Yeah, to be fair, even when it comes to like game ratings and like people are like, oh, this game is rated 8.2. It's such a mid game. I'm like, mate, that's a great score.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like people don't, or at least kids don't really appreciate what's considered a good game to be a bad game. Like, if you gave them, there's some really shit games around out there, and
Gollum.
I feel like, well, yeah, heck, even like the new South Park game, Snow Day. I heard it was supposed to be kind of like, it was supposed to be like, I don't know, a team-based gaming thing, and it just like it was. I heard it's just terrible scores. It wasn't even
that's
that
what
funny.
John was saying.
And I guess it's a thing about it now. Just thinking about it, you know, when people used to complain about us watching anime and playing video games and shit, and like, you know.
Yeah, last week that was me.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you weren't a parent or an older person to us. But it's different now because like we played anime and video games as kids. We weren't doing drugs and shit like in the movie. So I feel like I mean our addiction never hurt anyone else. No one ever, you know, we played our anime video games. We didn't go out doing drugs. I feel like we're a higher level functioning of addicts than anyone else. But in any case, favorite scene, because of how tragic it is definitely the ending scenes with them crying and dreaming about a better life in the fetal position, because that's just so painful and tragic. It's just like, ugh. Then afterwards, the least favorite scene, because of like how like gross it made me feel, is definitely when she meets Tim for the first time, and like that like power dynamic was very horrific, because you know you just felt how powerless she was as a human being. It's just like, Christ Almighty, that was horrific. But yeah, the favorite and least favorite scenes are all depressing. So you know, none of the happy moments are good scenes in this film or that interesting. All of the scenes are the depressing scenes.
Which part did you say powerless? Sorry, I missed that part.
You know when she meets Tim for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, he's like, yeah, it's like, I got what you want. Are you gonna give me what I want? And it's like, oh, yeah, she will. And it's just like, how about you guys? What are your most favorite or least favorite scenes?
I think before that, someone mentioned one that stuck with him. one of the scenes that really, the scene I think that stuck with me the most from when I was younger watching this was the culmination with Marion with the messed up like butt to butt scene. And I'm just gonna say it like that, man. But I was just like, this is effed up. Like she's had to get to this point to like to get her fix. She can't get closer to a straight and narrow. Like even Jared Leto's character, even though he was struggling, he was trying to encourage her to like, to rely on it less. Like you've got a business, you've got something that can actually work. We don't have to rely on this like forever kind of thing, thinking a long-term plan. But she's so dependent on those drugs. Yeah, that stuck with me since then. Like it's like every time I think of that film, I think of her situation. It's like, man, that's messed up. But I think my least favorite scene. Least favorite scene.
That'd have been perfect little just tangent. You just go on randomly. Like, but anyway, my least favorite film.
Yeah,
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No, not that one. I pretty much like that. I like that quite a bit. Anyway,
Wait, what?
No, we're not doing this.
Okay, no, what?
I picked it doing bad movie round, but not because I thought it was bad, because it's got terrible production, but it's great fun. It's a bad movie I like.
Right. Okay, I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but did you
bringing it up.
Did you grow up watching Spy Kids, and did you like watching Spy Kids as a kid?
Yes.
Okay, that explains.
Yeah.
Yeah, explains a lot. I watched Spy Kids as when I was younger. I kind of like Spy Kids, but I wouldn't choose it. Okay, back to this film. So, what was your least favorite film or least favorite scene?
Well, least favorite scene. I think it was the electroshock therapy or ECT or whatnot that the mom was getting, and that whole scene to the kind of part where her friends see her and obviously she's not the same, and they're crying because they've lost their friend, their lifelong friend. It's so messed up. Favorite scene. I don't know if I would have.
I don't think we're going to begrudge anyone for not having a favorite scene.
Yeah, I might not have like a favorite scene, but favorite moments maybe, or moments of note to me. When Marlon is like, "Nah, I'm taking you to the hospital." Like, dude, that's effed up. Like he didn't know his friend was like going through this, and he's like telling him, "Don't do that, man. Don't do that." And then obviously he does it, and it's just getting worse. He's like, "Nah, you know what? I'm making a decision. We're going to the hospital. I don't care what happens to us." He knows at the end of the day that they're screwed. They're going to end up in jail. Like he knows what's going to happen, but his friend's life is more important to him, obviously, than time inside, stuff on his record, and all that kind of stuff. He's just like, "Look, I care about you more about you making it out than still staying alive, and you saying, yeah, let's push on to Florida." No effort, man. But yeah, that scene. I think the scene as well, like at the end where Marlon is kind of curled up in the bed. He like someone else has said, she's the only person who could kind of make it out and then turn his life around properly without any drastic changes. Like Jared Leto's character, yeah, he can still make a right, but he's now missing an arm. Marion, even though technically she could, but I feel like she has a longer path to go before she could ever end up okay.
Mhm.
She's got so much going on. And like I could imagine like the start, this is going off a tiny bit, but like the start of her path, I imagined the start of her path without the drugs being like Aki and shoplifter. It kind of just reminded me of how she had her own situations and she went off. Like her parents are comfortable enough they could like maybe she's not achieving that well in school and different things like her sister and sister or not, but it's not like she would have a hard time at home, but she's going through all these things. She doesn't want to go home. She's doing this peep show kind of thing. But difference, obviously, Marion got addicted to drugs and left therapy and then does she need therapy or rehab or both. I think actually, yeah, I think a favorite scene, which has already been said actually, would be the son mother scene where he's trying to convince her to stop the drugs and convince her that it's a really bad idea. Like it's gonna kill you. You can't you need to stop now. And that is that is so hard. Yeah. Lots of I appreciate a lot of little moments and it's really well written and done.
I think anything to do with Jared Leto's arm is probably my least favorite scene. That's just the most needle going in vain, but it's also like a nasty, rotten.
I mean, like, was there a way that he couldn't have injected it into that gaping vein of his? Did he need to?
There was, but as he said, he did say, obviously he could have tried many different things, but through his own experience, every time he's tried to find a different vein in a different place in a different arm, he's always effed it up in the past. So he was like, I don't want to F it up again. I just want to shoot it and get this over with so we can carry on. He's so preoccupied with this kind of, oh, we just need to get to Florida, then everything's going to be all right. That obviously he's not thinking straight. He's a junkie, but he's even more so not thinking. He's even thinking worse. Even though his friends telling him, dude, that's not a good idea. You should not do that. So yeah, you're right. But I mean, it would have been better if he just didn't take it. But we're talking about junkies. But yeah, anyway. I mean, to be honest, I swear, not mine. I'm trying to think. Isn't there a way he could have taken it without injecting it? But obviously, it's like not a proper hit. It's only a tiny bit.
I don't know that much about drugs to give you an honest answer.
That's okay. I'm trying to think if there was something in Trainspotting.
He could have put it in his ass. You haven't seen Trainspotting. You don't know.
Nah. Oh man.
He could have put it in his great big ass.
That's a way to send you straight to hospital. And not straight to hospital, to kill you straight away. Let alone putting wine up your butt. That's a reference to a messed up story.
Wait, what? Okay, no, I don't want it.
Not personal story. There's a famous. It's not really a famous story. There's a well-known story in different places of a couple who were playing around, and the wife, they wanted to get drunk quickly, so the wife thought of the great idea to pour wine bottle up the guy's butt, and not of no surprise, he suddenly things got messed up. He died of alcohol poisoning pretty quickly because of how well it absorbs things down there. Same reason why if you're in a great distress and they can't put a pill down your mouth or inject you with it, they'll put it up your butt. That's the quickest way to absorb pain medicine, especially if you're having like an allergic reaction or something.
Emmanuel, it's just unfortunately, I get it. It's supposed to be serious. The way you said it was not. It was way funnier than it had to be because of the way you said it. Absolutely, you said it with such conviction as well. You put it up your butt, and there was something about it. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's fucking hell.
That's okay. Don't do drugs, kids. Get some help.
Yes.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Oh God.
Oh. I've been waiting to say that all day. I've just killed it. Nice.
It's good.
I nearly had a favourite scene. What was the?
So you just got me laughing.
I'm not laughing.
No, I was saying, Simon, you still got me laughing, and Pat. I didn't hear Pat properly, so I think it just made me laugh even more. Is that a reference to? It's not South Park, is it? Is it a reference to
Yeah, it's Mr. Mackey.
Yeah. Who's next? Is it Alec? Actually, Alec, you said yours, didn't you? No, you said yours.
No, I said my least two. No, I don't have a favourite scene. It's all just lots of old ladies that I'm not fond of, and just deeply unpleasant.
Oh yeah, about
Oh,
the old
actually,
lady.
I thought of an example of a good technique rather than a thing that I liked. I did like the technique of having her trying to cope with her diet, and then she's got her like grapefruit, and she's got her hard boiled egg, and she's got her cup of coffee, and they don't show her actually consuming it. They just cut and it's just gone. I thought that was a really good way of just kind of going like that didn't fucking do anything.
And he had the sound effects. That was a good touch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, well, that's over,
Yeah.
and now I don't have any food.
It
Like,
just,
yeah.
Great. I think I do
Yeah.
have one favourite scene actually. But it's just more like the only pleasant scene that I can think of was that I found the most enjoyable was when Jared Leto and Jennifer Connelly are kind of like bonding and maybe not falling in love, but at least the relationship's coming together at this point when they're kind of like sneaking up on top of the roof and they've kind of like sorted out the fire alarm of the door at the top of the on the final door, and they just sneak around and they just go up and enjoy themselves, and then they have that moment where there's like, okay, and she decides to just activate it, so the police and the security come upstairs, and then they just make a break for it on the lift and go back. I thought that was really quite effective. You can see their love for each other kind of blooming at that stage, and what they would do to kind of like have this passion in the relationship, and what they're willing to do to kind of like make it exciting for the both of them, and that's kind of like their kink in the way, kind of breaking the law, but kind of having fun at the same time. Yeah.
I can picture one of you saying that to impress a girl.
Yeah.
My kink is breaking the law.
Yeah. What about you, babe?
I get off on illegality.
To add on what you made me you reminded me about the state of Ma. I can't remember what her name actually is, but in the film, and someone reminded me the other day of this like multiple times. But she also shows an example, even though I'm sure this is not the intention, because it's more about addictions. But she also shows an example of how not to go into retirement, and how important it is to have a plan and things to do and things to keep you busy and places to go, even like if it's just simple things for cheap, kind of, because that's a really real thing, a really real situation. Like for so long, people needed to depend on her, but they no longer need to, and now she has nothing really to keep her busy except TV and the little moments with her friends. And though her friends seem perfectly nice, she needs more. She needs to be, out doing stuff, getting involved in things, and keeping her mind busy and herself busy, distract herself from life. But she doesn't, and that makes it even sadder, almost even worse, when she gets addicted to the drugs.
Any more favourite scenes?
Yeah, and least favourite as well.
Oh wow.
Least favourite is probably when Marion has to sort of sell herself. They were quite uncomfortable to watch if I was to go that way. And then my favourite scene was when the end credits started.
Oh, win.
No, I didn't have a
Oh,
favourite scene
man.
at all.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd call it a favourite scene, but like I mean, outside of the one that I mentioned earlier, so the bit at the end, I think the thing that sticks with me the most is the little bit between Harry and his mum, where she's like, "Oh, soon everyone's gonna remember me, and I'm gonna tell them about you and your father and how good he was to us, and all of that," and then how that ends with like, "I'm lonely and old now." That's that's quite a yeah, it sticks with me.
Anybody else? Anybody? Fine.
Juice.
No.
Alex
No.
got juice. Alex got juice.
Yes.
Juice by Alex.
That
Juice by
annoyed me.
Alex.
That was so irritating.
That reminded me of Marilyn Manson. It's like, be obscene, be
Yeah,
obscene,
obscene.
be obscene, baby.
Be excited. Be excited. Be.
It had to be from that.
Rob, haven't the Elite used that theme as well?
Yeah, but it started with Faith No More. It started with Be Aggressive.
Oh, they did it first, eh? Faith No More. And then Manson took it from them. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
because it was a rib on what's his name? I forget the lead singer's name now. But it was a rib on him. The keyboardist wrote that song about giving a blowjob because he wanted to hear him sing it.
Wow. Fair enough.
That was okay. That's different. Oh yeah, a lot of the filming for that TV show. I say a lot, but the TV show accepting, it was all done in one day, and most of it was improvised. So most of it's just stuff he came up with. And at the end of it, at the end of the day, people had such a good time. They were just giving him a standing ovation. It was like fair enough. I mean, the fact that he came up with pretty much most of that. Yeah, it was very random, but yeah, I know. Saying that, I think at first I found it weird, and then by the end of the film, it kind of made more sense to me, and I kind of got used to it. It was like when you have this kind of Larry nonsensical thing playing amongst something that's it's not too bad. It's whatever it is. But as things start going down and getting crazier and crazier or worse and worse, it starts making more and more sense. It is just like, man, yeah, this fits right in with the lump of crazy we've got.
Any more parting thoughts for Requiem for a Dream?
It wrecked us.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh man.
Cool. Well, believe it's Ben next, but you won't have me. Sorry, actually, I should make this announcement right now because Pat's going to be real happy for it. You're not going to have me for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Where you going?
Why not?
Yeah. Holiday?
No, I just didn't fancy it. Yeah, no, I'm going to the Isle of Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're going
that's
to where?
exactly what they talk like. The Isle of Man.
The Man of Isle.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't know what Alex said, but they definitely don't talk like that wherever he said he's going.
It is an
No,
island, to be fair.
it's exactly like Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Ben, I
Ben,
think you need to travel a bit more.
Anyway, yeah. So Ben and Pat have free picks basically.
Oh yeah, what is your pick, Ben?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've decided to change my mind last minute. So
Oh.
I've done a Rob. So I was thinking of something completely different to what we've had Requiem for a Dream style, like depressing, and I thought something a bit more upbeat, something older, something I'm not sure if all you guys have seen, if at all, but it shall be a film that came out in let me double check, 1959. So it's 65 years old. Some Like It Hot by Billy Wilder. Sorry, Marilyn
Interesting.
Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon.
It's
It's one of my mom's favorite films, and it's her 70th birthday in a couple of weeks' time. So I thought, okay, I might so do a honorary guest round pick before the guest round begins.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah, so but it's one of my favorite Marilyn Monroe movies, and certainly I think you guys are gonna. Hopefully, you guys will dig it because it is really funny, even by today's standards. It's still a very unique movie. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's playing on Apple TV for Alex's benefit. But also, it's also on Prime and Sky everywhere else. So do not fret.
Sweet. Nice, man.
Some like it.
Some like it, what?
Yes.
Nice. I forgot that. I forgot about that film. Yeah, thanks for picking it.
We shall see. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. It's It's not depressing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Luckily, this is the state now. Don't worry, guys. I picked the film, but it's not depressing.
At least Requiem for the Dream's out the way, and no one else has to pick it. But...
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be another depressing film that pops up. I might have one or two myself.
Yeah, I mean,
to be fair, I do as well.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. But this is quite a low anyway. So
this is where I pick the boy in the striped pajamas after.
Fuck, yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, that is the other one that's on my list. Fuck, Jesus, yeah, that's the other fucking really fucking depressing film as well. Well, but it's depressing for. Well, I mean, it's.
Don't worry, it's not even on my list.
We have another one that's similar.
Yeah.
Oh, but that had me in tears. That ended.
Because it was so funny.
Yeah, it was that funny.
Yeah, striped pajamas, and he's just like dancing along. Yeah.
Emmanuel was howling.
Yeah.
Howling for the wrong reasons. Oh man.
Is it as funny as Grave of the Firefly?
Oh man.
Fucking hell. That's well.
What's that?
It's.
I mean,
it's a grave experience.
It is
Yeah,
a
it's
great
on my
experience.
list. It's on my possible list, but I wasn't sure about it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because Alex said he's gonna laugh when he watches it, I was like, I don't really want to pick it anymore. I was like,
I feel like that was in jest.
no, that's not what you said. That's not what he said. Wait, Alex, didn't you say you someone showed you it and you laughed?
I got banned from watching it halfway through because I kept telling jokes, and yeah, she was like, "You're not taking it seriously," so we're not watching it. So I've only seen the first half now.
That's I don't know. It's
That's the precise mood we're gonna leave you in.
Yeah, because like all that means is like it's like watching this film. It's like, why does he have a big pimple on his arm? And it's just like, oh no, it's like that's how it is. Drugs, am I right, kids? It's like you just couldn't. Yeah, I mean, as depressing as this is, if we just start making jokes about everything, it's just like, oh no, it ruins the experience. I don't know. It's like. No, fuck it. I won't say what I was thinking. Never mind. Anyways, yeah. So something like it hot, yeah. It's on there.
This just reminded me of the Muller Rice advert that keeps playing on the TV.
No, I've seen that one.
Just the family sat in their living room with cold Muller Rice, and then the youngest son was like, "I want mine hot." I don't know why that was the reason.
Was it hot or warm?
Oh yeah, it might be actually. Yeah, so I've even told it wrong anyway. So forget that.
Yeah, I